Today, I have a creepy story for you guys. It was 2006 when my wife, my two kids, and I moved into our first family home. We had worked long and hard for that house, saving for years to make our dream come true. It was an old Victorian house with 5 bedrooms, 3 bathrooms, and a wraparound porch. The entire second floor was taken up by the master bedroom and master bathroom. My son's room was directly under that, and my daughter's room was at the very end of the hallway. On the first day of moving in, as we were carrying boxes up the stairs to the second floor, my son stopped dead in his tracks and pointed upstairs. "Who's that?" he asked, pointing to the window at the end of the hallway. At first, I didn't see anyone, but then I did. There was a girl sitting in the window. She was staring down at us with what appeared to be a malicious grin on her face. We continued moving boxes upstairs, trying to ignore the girl in the window. We figured that whoever she was, she probably lived in the house next door. As we got closer to my daughter's room, the girl in the window started to scream. "Get out! Get out!" she yelled over and over again. My wife and I looked at each other and then back at the window. We couldn't see her anymore, but now we could hear her footsteps running back and forth on the other side of the wall. My wife and I stopped unpacking and went to check on my son and daughter. They were fine and not at all bothered by the commotion. "Let's just forget about the girl in the window," I said to my wife. "I'm sure it's just some kid who likes to play." Over the next few days, we heard chains dragging metal moans and whispers coming from behind the wall. One day, while playing in his room, my son discovered a hole in the wall behind his closet. He came running to me, his eyes wide with fear, and told me that he could hear the girl whispering and dragging herself closer to the hole in the wall. Every night we would hear the sound of dragging chains followed by heavy footsteps. Then, one morning, we woke up to the sound of blood-curdling screams. My wife and I decided that we couldn't take it anymore. We needed to find out once and for all what was going on behind that wall. We emptied out both kids' rooms, then used a sledgehammer to break open the wall. On the other side was the master bedroom, which hadn't been used in decades. The wallpaper was peeling off the walls, and the only furniture in the room was an old vanity table and a full-length mirror, but there was no girl. As I walked closer to the mirror, I noticed something lying on the floor behind it. I pulled the mirror away and found a porcelain doll lying on its back, staring at me with its soulless eyes. Its arms were outstretched, as if it had been trying to crawl out of the mirror. The doll was covered in dust, as if it had been lying there for a very long time, and it appeared to be very old, perhaps even antique. My wife took one look at the doll and screamed. We ran out of the house and didn't look back. We called the local police, but they weren't interested in a creepy doll. They told us to do whatever we wanted with it, so we put the doll back in the house and left. That night, we couldn't sleep because we could hear the chains dragging again. In the morning, we called a priest and he agreed to come and bless the house. After he sprinkled holy water around the room, he told us to bring the doll to him. As I handed the doll to the priest, it suddenly felt very heavy. The priest looked at us and said, "Whatever you do, don't look back." Whatever you do, don't look back. And then he left. My wife and I looked at each other and then at the doll. We knew that we should get rid of it, but we were too scared to touch it. We ended up leaving the house for a week. But every night we could hear the chains dragging and the girl screaming. When we finally went back into the house, the doll was gone. Whoever took it must have been scared by the priest's warning because they left it in the middle of the hallway. I picked the doll up and carried it outside. As I turned to go back inside, I saw a little girl standing at the top of the stairs. She was staring at me and smiling. "Thank you," she whispered. "Now I can finally come out to play." And that's the end of this creepypasta. If you liked this creepypasta, please leave a like and comment a creepypasta that I should read. Also, check out these other videos, and remember, don't look back.